Thank you, sir. And I don't intend to speak for too long in this, sir, but I do have to warn members that some of the description I will be giving is rather graphic, simply because of the brutal nature of what I'm bringing to the Assembly's attention, sir. The Faroe Islands are an autonomous nation within the Kingdom of Denmark in the North Atlantic Ocean with a population of around 50,000 people. It determines its own policies in many areas, including external trade policy and conservation. Faroe Islands, sir, are not part of the EU. Whale and dolphin hunts are activities that take place throughout the year in the Faroe Islands. And words cannot express the cruelty displayed in a tradition known as the Grind or the Grindadrap. In Faroese, the hunting of sea mammals, primarily whales and dolphins, is a tradition that has been practiced for hundreds of years on the Faroe Islands. I'm going to refer, sir, briefly to a UK Parliament debate in July of last year on an e-petition relating to the UK trade agreement with the Faroe Islands and their whale and dolphin hunting, sir. And I'm going to read some of the speech of John Nicholson MP, sir, because I think it encapsulates very clearly the situation in the Faroe Islands, sir. And I quote, "On Sunday the 12th of September last year, a small armada of boats herded a large group of mammals towards beach. Those in the boats were not tourists, not scientists, and not hungry. They were islanders in a sophisticated country in the North Atlantic Ocean, a country with one of the highest standards of living in the world, sir, the Faroe Islands. These creatures were highly intelligent mammals, dolphins, and they were being driven towards the Skjaldbotna beach. Dolphins are playful creatures and not suspicious of mankind. They probably had no idea of their intended fate until it was too late. It was originally estimated that there were 200 dolphins in that pod, sir, but we now know that the number was much higher. Over 1,400 white-sided dolphins were set upon with knives and ropes and blunted hooks. It took hours to kill them. Once the hours of senseless killing had stopped, the seas had turned red. It resembled, sir, something from a biblical plague. Had that killing happened here, those responsible for such a wantonly cruel act would face the full force of the law and would serve prison sentences. Remarkably, however, in the Faroe Islands, what was done, sir, on that day was absolutely legal. Although what happened was grotesque, the killing of mammals on such a scale is sadly a regular occurrence. Last year, sir, excluding the event of the 12th of September, 667 long-fin pilot whales were killed in the Faroe Islands. This year alone, 182 have been killed. Intelligent, aquatic mammals, sir, needlessly and brutally killed. The practice of driving whales into specific bays, called the Grindadrap, or the Grind, has its origins in the Middle Ages, when sailors would drive the whales and dolphins to beaches and kill them with spears and rowing boats. The killing of whales, sir, at that time was justifiable. The whales killed, in far fewer numbers, were vital to the survival of the Faroese people, who lived at the edge of northern Europe in an unforgiving winter climate. All three archipelagos have suffered famine through much of their history. Fresh meat and whale oil were once vital to the survival of the Faroese, so reliant on barley, seafood, and later potatoes. But no longer, sir. The Faroes are thankfully highly prosperous. The slaughtering of dolphins and whales is not required for meat. In fact, the slaughtered animals are hard to get into the human food chain, as so few people, especially young people, want to eat them. As for the method of slaughter, sir, who could justify it? And on what basis? Tradition? Sailors now use boats, not with oars, but with motors, to drive large numbers of whales and dolphins into the killing bays. I apologize in advance, sir, but it is important to know exactly how these mammals are killed. And it is not a quick death. Sea Shepherd, sir, the Global Marine Conservation Society, has reported that the killing of dolphins regularly takes over 2 minutes and can take up to 8 minutes, sir. 8 minutes of dying at the hands of sailors using rudimentary tools such as knives and blunted hooks. The fate of whales is even more monstrous. They are killed with a lance. If used correctly, an unfortunate word under these circumstances, it will paralyze the whale, which will then slowly bleed to death. On average, this process takes 13 minutes. 13 minutes of the wounded, paralyzed sentient being floating in its own blood while other creatures around it are killed. The killing is indiscriminate, with pregnant mothers, juveniles and calves all being slaughtered. And all of that, sir, takes place in the 21st century, just 250 miles from the coast of Scotland. The UK government, sir, on a number of occasions have expressed their opposition to that barbarism and the hunting of sea mammals more generally, sir, and that is welcome. The International Whaling Commission has condemned the killing too, sir, as have nearly all and every global marine protection and animal welfare organisation on the planet. But however, sir, no amount of condemnation has worked. So at some stage, the world will have to get tougher, and that's the only way this brutality will not continue, sir. But for now, we are not alone as a parliament, as an assembly, in discussing this. And members of parliaments all over the world are beginning to see these dark issues as a key part of their environmental agendas, sir. Thank you.